Hi, Ava. This is Uncle Buddy from sunny Prescott Valley, Arizona. Hope you're doing well. You've had a fun summer. We're having a fun summer here, though it's coming to an end, getting the monsoons and a lot of rain. And I think you're starting school soon, so that's exciting. But I'm making this video because I needed to show you something that I found in my backyard. It's just amazing. It was this plastic bottle. It was just sitting on the grass. Plastic bottle with a rolled up piece of paper in it. And this plastic bottle is pretty beat up. It's all dented and scratched up. And so I took out the paper, and it's kind of wet and soggy a little bit, and folded up and rolled up, and it says, I don't know if you could see it here, but it says, "To Uncle Buddy, love, Ava." Now, I don't know how many other Uncle Buddies and Avas there are in the United States or in the world. So I called up Pop, and I asked him if he knew anything about some plastic bottle with this note in it. And he had to think for a minute, and he said, "Yeah, I remember taking Ava down near the bank to the Wallkill River, and she wrote a note and put it in the bottle, and we floated it in the Wallkill River." Well, I don't know how this happened, but it ended up in my backyard here in Arizona, over 2,400 miles away. I mean, this is amazing. So I did a little research to try to figure out how could a plastic bottle that was thrown in the Wallkill River get to my backyard here in Prescott Valley, Arizona. And I'm going to show you what I found out. Okay, so I think this is how the path that bottle took. If we look over here, that's New Paltz, and there's the bank right by the river right there. And then the bottle traveled along Wallkill River, past the golf course, all the way up, going north. And it kind of winds around here. And then it crosses 32 near the covered bridge in Riften, and keeps on going into this little pond there. So the bottle continued here into, I call the pond, but it's actually called Sturgeon Pool in Riften, and continued on, floating around, hitting rocks all the way up here into 213, and continuing on into what's called the Rondout Creek, and it keeps on going, and then passes 9W, and then finally reaches Kingston and into the Hudson River. And then it picks up speed and goes down the Hudson River, past the Sopus, all the way down, continuing on. Let's see where else it goes. Right down here, probably hitting a whole bunch of other boats along the way. So continuing on down the Hudson River, all the way down to Hyde Park and Highland and Poughkeepsie and the Mid-Hudson Valley Bridge. It keeps on going down past Highland and Spackenkill, IBM, into Wappingers and Marlboro. So past Wappingers, past Newburgh Beacon Bridge, continues on, Cornwall, keep going down south to Peekskill, Fishkill, all the way down. Now we're getting into Westchester and crossing White Plains and Yonkers, and then finally into the Bronx, and then past Manhattan and all the tunnels. I'm sure it had to bounce over the tunnels because the tunnels are underwater, and all the boats, and past Statue of Liberty, and past my old neighborhood in Bensonhurst and the Verrazano Bridge. It went underneath the Verrazano Bridge and past Staten Island, where there's a big dump. The whole Staten Island's a dump. And then out into the water, the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, now it's in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's going past New Jersey and Atlantic City and a couple of boardwalks there and Wildwood, then past Washington, D.C., bouncing around, floating by, saying hi to President Obama, and then down past Virginia and North Carolina, South Carolina, and then Georgia, and then Florida, where it's getting very warm, and continues on past Orlando. That's where Disney World is. Probably Mickey was hoping to find a bottle like that. And then continues down past Miami. Wow. And now here's where I'm not quite sure where it went, but I think it did kind of go around past here Cuba, and in between Cuba and Haiti. And you can see on the right over here is Puerto Rico. And Aunt Rose is down there, and I'm sure that Aunt Rose was wondering what a bottle was doing in the ocean as well. And then the bottle continued on down. So the bottle must have continued its journey past Puerto Rico there in Haiti, and then I thought it might have gone through the Panama Canal because I saw some interesting looking mud and dirt on the bottle, but it wasn't. It just turned out to be some bird poop. So it didn't go through the Panama Canal. So I think it did go around South America and continue on. Whoa. And it took quite a long time to go around South America, past Uruguay, and continuing on down. It probably got cooler all the way down to the edge. And I don't think it went to Antarctica, but it came pretty close. So it just kind of scooted around here and then back up, because there's trade winds and there's other currents that move back and forth, and all that's happening, and comes back up this side and through Central America and to Mexico. And now here's where I think it gets interesting. There's this little Gulf of California there along Mexico, and it goes right up to that point. So it enters the Gulf of California. Probably found a few cruise ships there, because the cruise ships go down up and down the coast, and so there's probably some people looking over the side of the ship and wondering what's a bottle doing in the middle of the ocean, and they had no idea. So it went all the way up into the Gulf of California. Now, something interesting is going on in the Gulf of California. There are European doves who live there, and they grab things that wash up on the shore, and they migrate to Arizona, because Arizona is right. This is the border right here of Arizona. So the birds are here, and they are on the beach, and they find something shiny or something that catches their eye. It looks interesting to them, and then they'll take it and they'll use it and they'll fly away with it. So I think what happened, and this must be what happened, is that one of the European doves found your bottle floating around with the paper inside of it and looked pretty interesting to it. So he picked it up in its talons, its claws, and then flew up here into Arizona. It's not very far. So then one of those European doves flew from the Gulf of California coast on the beach there all the way up into Arizona, where it's very, very hot. But it's a dry heat. It's okay. Don't mind the skeleton laying on the side of the road. Going up in the cactus, and then there's tumbleweeds. Lots of tumbleweeds are all dried up. And then finally flying into the Prescott Forest, and then across the Prescott Forest into Prescott Valley, where I live. And so it made that journey in quite a short amount of time. I would think it only took about 5 or 6 days for that European dove to make it from the beach to Prescott Valley. And then I actually have a picture to show you of what the European dove looks like. Well, here's a picture of my backyard, and you can see the fence over here, and right on the wire there is, and I'll circle it here, is a European dove. We have lots of them in our backyard, and I often shoo them away with a loud sound or a little fun little toy gun, kind of scare them away. But I'm glad I didn't scare this one away. because he was carrying your bottle. And so that's the little European dove right there who flew from the beach and dropped it off in our yard. So that's how I think the bottle with your message made it from New Paltz all the way to Prescott Valley, Arizona. What an interesting journey that was. And so what I'd like to do is write a letter to you and put it in a bottle and see if you get it. And I've written one out here. And it has today's date, August 26, 2013, Prescott Valley, Arizona. And it says, Dear Ava, big empty box here, love, Uncle Buddy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a message in that box, but you won't know it until you actually get the bottle, if you do. And if you were to get that message, then I'd like you to tell me on a phone or maybe in Skype or chat what the message says, because I think that would be pretty fun to see if you actually got it. So that'll be some fun. And so I'm going to write the message on this letter, fold it up, roll it up, put it in a bottle, and then drive over to Cottonwood. You remember where when you were out here visiting, you went to a place called Out of Africa that had lots of wild animals, and it was like African animals. Well, right near there is the Verde River, and it's a good-sized river. And so what I'll do is I'll take the bottle and I'll throw it in the river, and we'll see if it makes it back to New Paltz. Could happen. We'll see. So I'll do that, and you let me know if you receive that letter. It might take probably a month or two, especially if it travels the same way. So love you, sweetie. Thank you for sending me that letter. I'm so excited that I did receive it, and I hope that you get mine. So love you and everybody there, and talk to you soon. Bye.